I'm ready to share some lessons learned from my fight last Saturday. There are some things that I did well, there are a lot of things that I did not do well, and I'm gonna share them all. So first up, I was up against a really strong pressure fighter, and I did not handle the pressure very well. There's lots of different techniques and things that you can do to handle fighting a pressure fighter, and I think that it's just one of those things that I need to work on because I'm used to being the one that creates the pace and creates the spacing that I want. At least that's how it was in all my other fights. And so I think that I couldn't take the heat. I couldn't take the pressure a little bit towards the end of the fight. So I guess I can start with things that I did do well to create space. In a sense, we're using my teeps. I didn't do this near enough, and I heard my coach in the third round yelling at me to teep the face, and at this point I was injured. I was hit too much to even like process what they were saying, but part of the game plan is to use my teeps, my front kicks, to keep her away. And so there's a couple situations where I was able to create some space by kicking her front. It's good. I throw my back teep usually with combos, so like 1, 2 back teep to hide it, and then my front teep, I'll just maybe throw a jab and use it, or if I get in a bad situation, try to throw a front kick. One thing I'm working on is not leaning back too much when I teep, but being able to just kind of use it like a jab and keep people away.
Calderon's in the dance as well.
Constantly throwing hands and feet.
Arguably, Calderon.
Tremblay's clamming up at that shorter distance. Seems to be a similar style to our last fight. One's trying to get in punching range.
The second thing that I think I did well was slipping her jab and timing it right. My head movement in at least the first round and most of the second round was pretty good. You never want to punch like this and just leave yourself open. You have to slip, get your head outside, and I had really good timing with that, and my opponent had a super strong jab, and so I think that I definitely avoided some damage just getting my head outside and timing those right, and then shooting off to the right. So that was kind of one of the techniques that I practiced a lot during training camp, was knowing that my opponent had a really strong right hand, and so like throw a combo and then get out and circle out to the right. Towards the end of the fight, this just turned into me running away in a sense, or like circling out and not actually getting any combos in myself, because I ended up, like I said, kind of shutting down a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but it was one of the things that I was able to use to create some space for myself and to make her miss.
Of Calderon and throwing him over top, and she is throwing punches and bunches.
By Tremblay, not getting hit with those big hooks. They're doing a good job. Right back to that long-range fighting, putting Calderon.
Another thing that I really need to work on is finishing my punches. Shout out to Stephanie, my opponent, if she ever watches this, because she was actually a really good example of finishing her punches. You can literally see, even in pictures of the fight, she's like extending all the way through. She's punching through me, right? Like she's trying to put me down. I have a tendency to punch like this, not like this, and to not extend all the way. I should probably do it with this arm, like not extend all the way, and I'll punch like this and stop. And it's hard to get power that way, and it's just something that I need to work on. I have a bad habit of not using, at least I try not to use a lot of power when I'm sparring, because I want to hurt my teammates. Like I try to spar light and everything, and I'm not good at practicing punching all the way through and finishing, especially with my cross. My coaches are always getting on me to bend my knee and punch all the way through.
What she's known for. In her first fight with Combat Night at the last Combat Night,
punches and bunches.
Great job finishing her combination. Tremblay's clamming up at that shorter distance. Right back to that long-range fighting.
So next up is my power. I really need work on power. Especially during that fight, I didn't make her respect my power at all. And so I think especially in that situation where someone's pressuring you, if they know that you're not going to be able to put them down, they're just going to keep coming. They're just going to keep taking it. And I don't think I generated enough power. Even though I landed a lot of really great combos, I wasn't generating the power that I needed to. And part of that, a lot of that is timing. I think that I tend to get a little bit nervous during fights, and then I just throw stuff aimlessly without thinking about having good timing, making her miss and responding. I think I just throw stuff just to throw. That just comes with experience. I know that I have power. I lift all the time to try to get stronger, and I know I have power. I need to get even stronger and keep working hard at that. That's not to say that I don't need to keep working hard and have a ton of work to do as far as just getting stronger all around, but I did not throw power during that fight, and it's something that I'm going to be working on a ton because
Man, right to work.
Rockham's
Hands and feet.
arguably Calderon landing the harder shots, but nowhere near the volume.
No. Unless she gets a knockdown, it just ends up.
Last 10 seconds. Here we go. And Tremblay comes right out after it.
It's probably the hardest to describe and talk about, but I wasn't ready for her power either. Honestly, I don't know that I've ever gotten hit like that before, so then to be like taking that much damage when I'm already standing in the cage is kind of tough. And I felt like my arms like totally went to just absolute noodles halfway through the fight. Like I was punching, but not really punching. And this is tough. It was tough for me to watch the videos. It's tough for me to process mentally because I was like, does this mean I am like can't be a fighter? Like for some reason I just shut down when I get hit. And it's not, I talked to my coaches about it and they're like, it's normal, you know, like you need experience. Like you were nervous and that girl had more power than we thought. And you know, all of these different things kind of contribute to it. But even though it looks like I'm still trying to fight towards the second half of that fight, I was really just kind of had gone to noodles, and that's really tough. It's tough to swallow. It's tough for me to watch on tape, but it was a big lesson learned. Just that I need to get tougher mentally, that I need to get tougher physically, and that I need to get more experience.
Third by Calderon. Oh, big right hand to the body.
Nice.
Damage behind.
Big right.
Oh, she is rocked. Tremblay is hurt. That right hand, big power. The right hand is going to be her key to victory right now. Double jab, right hand, left hook, and that could be all she wrote for Tremblay. You can see Calderon not respecting Tremblay's power at all. Just allowing her to touch and then uncork.
Calderon just chopping away.
Those straight shots are landing almost every.
So now this brings me to the last two, which are a little bit more mental. So the first one, I love this book. It's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and it is such a good book, and eventually I will probably actually just release a video reviewing that book and like why every fighter I think should read it, because I just really like this book. But he talks about this concept of your cookie jar, and basically when you have wins and you have victories in life, it's just another cookie in your cookie jar, and you put that away because during those really hard and rough and grueling times you have to access your cookie jar. He talks about how when he's an ultra marathon runner, you know, there are those moments where you feel like you're gonna break and you gotta reach into your cookie jar and grab those things that just fuel you and motivate you so deep down. And I feel that when I'm on the treadmill, when I'm getting up early, when I'm lifting, all these things. But during a fight in 2-minute rounds, it happens like this. And it's almost like my mind isn't even there. Even the times that I've won, I feel like I'm just going, 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 and there's so many things happening, and I practice drowning out everything else but my coaches, but I need to have the right mindset and that right fuel and fire no matter what. And I think I have a hard time accessing my cookie jar and even being present because these fights happen so fast. And so I think that one of those things that I'm going to be working on between now and whenever else I fight again is figuring out, how do I get there? How do I dig super deep and keep fighting even when I know that I'm losing, when everything is just happening so quickly and I'm so nervous? I'm gonna figure out how to access my cookie jar deep, deep, deep down, no matter what happens. And lastly, I learned that there is just no substitute for experience. If I genuinely want to keep doing this, want to keep fighting and just have this different life for myself and be a fighter, I have to work harder than I ever thought possible. And I have to get in that cage many more times and probably get more black eyes and get beat up more, and that's just because I need the experience. I've only been doing this a little over a year now, and I've got to keep it up, and I don't think that I ever thought it would be easy, but I don't know that I processed how hard it would be. And so that's one of the things that I learned this week, because I could think, oh, I should have waited to take that fight, it wasn't good timing, but no, it was perfect timing for me to have a wake-up call. And I think that even if I would have waited months, it would have been the same outcome. I believe anyways. I believe that I needed that just to understand what I'm doing and how hard I have to work and how much I have to commit to it. And I feel like I'm already committing everything and 2 workouts a day and all of this stuff. And so I don't know what more I can do, but I know that there is more deep down, and I just am gonna keep sharing that. So this probably won't be my last lessons learned about the fight, because it's only been a week. I have a lot more reflecting to do and might share more of these lessons learned videos in the weeks to come. So if you enjoyed this, pop a comment below, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.